Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Okay. Let's begin. Satish Prabhu, would you like to read from verse number 26,
23
23 to 40?
Sure, प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। One has to make progress in spiritual life by not associating with persons who are simply interested in sense gratification and making money. Not only such persons, but one who associates with such persons should be avoided. One should mold his life in such a way that he cannot live in peace without drinking the nectar of the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. One can be thus elevated by being disgust with a taste for sense enjoyment. A candidate for spiritual advancement must be non-violent, must follow in the footsteps of great acharyas, must always remember the nectar of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, must follow the regulative principles without material desire, and while following the regulative principles should not blaspheme others. A devotee should lead a very simple life and not be disturbed by the duality of opposing elements. He should learn to tolerate them. The devotee should gradually increase the culture of devotional service by constantly hearing of the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These pastimes are like ornamental decorations on the ears of the devotees. By rendering devotional service and transcending the material qualities, one can easily be fixed in the transcendence in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Upon becoming fixed in this attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by the grace of the spiritual master and by awakening knowledge and detachment, the living entity situated within the heart of the body and covered by the five elements burns up his material surroundings exactly as fire arising from wood burns the wood itself. When a person becomes devoid of all material desires and liberated from all material qualities, he transcends distinctions between actions executed externally and internally. At that time, the difference between the soul and the super soul, which was existing before self-realization, is annihilated. When a dream is over, there is no longer a distinction between the dream and the dreamer. When the soul exists for sense gratification, he creates different desires, and for that reason, he becomes subject to designations. But when one is in the transcendental position, he is no longer interested in anything except fulfilling the desires of the Lord. Only because of different causes does a person see a difference between himself and others. Just as one sees the reflection of a body appearing differently manifested on water, on oil, or in a mirror. When one's mind and senses are attracted to sense objects for enjoyment, the mind becomes agitated. As a result of continually thinking of sense objects, one's real consciousness almost becomes lost, like the water in a lake that is gradually sucked up by the big glass straws on its bank. When one deviates from his original consciousness, he loses the capacity to remember his previous position or recognize his present one. When remembrance is lost, all knowledge acquired is based on a false foundation. When this occurs, learned scholars consider that the soul is lost. There is no stronger obstruction to one's self-interest than thinking other subject matters to be more pleasing than one's self-realization. For human society, constantly thinking of how to earn money and apply it for sense gratification brings about the destruction of everybody's interest. When one becomes devoid of knowledge and devotional service, he enters into species of life like those on trees and stones. Those who strongly desire to cross the ocean of essence, nescience, must not associate with modes of ignorance, for Hinduistic activities are the greatest obstructions of realization of religious principles, economic development, regulated sense gratification, and at last liberation. Out of the four principles, namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, liberation has to be taken very seriously. The other three are subject to destruction by the stringent law of nature, death. We accept as blessings different states of higher life, distinguishing them from lower states of life. But we should know that such distinctions exist only in relation to the interchange of the modes of material nature. Actually, these states of life have no permanent existence, for all of them will be destroyed by the Supreme Controller. Sanat Kumara advised the king, therefore, my dear King Prthu, try to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is living within everyone's heart, along with the individual soul in each and every body, either moving or not moving. The individual souls are fully covered by the gross material body and subtle body made of the life air and intelligence. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself as one with the cause and effect within this body, but one who has transcendental the illusionary energy by deliberated consideration, which clears the misconception of a snake for a rope, can understand that the Paramatma is eternally transcendental into the material creation and situated in pure internal energy. Thus, the Lord is transcendental to all material contamination. Unto him only must one surrender. The devotees who are always engaged in the service of the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord can very easily overcome hard-knotted desires for fruitive actions. Because this is very difficult, the non-devotees, the jnanis and yogis, although trying to stop waves of sense gratification, cannot do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in the devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. The ocean of nescience is very difficult to cross because it is infested with many dangerous sharks. Although those who are non-devotees undergo severe austerities and penances to cross that ocean, we recommend that you simply take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are like boats for crossing the ocean. Although the ocean is difficult to cross, by taking shelter of his lotus feet, you will overcome all dangers. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Satish Prabhu. How did you find it?
This was very deep, Prabhuji. As I was trying to, read, I was trying to interpret, and I missed few things. Like, especially, we think it's a rope, but it's snake, and also the language of Prabhupada. Like, for example, few things I didn't know how to pronounce, Prabhuji. Like, it was.
Good understood. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you for this opportunity, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjansalakaya Chaturmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Shri Swapadamtikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sita Padakamadan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sagipam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Shaka Anvitamsya नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। So we are reading the instructions of Sanat Kumar, who is the head of the four Kumaras, because Prithu Maharaj is such a great devotee. He is such a great devotee that not only his people were happy, not only his citizens were happy, not only that the sages were happy, uh, not only the demigods were happy, but also here we see that even the Kumaras, who are the founder acharyas of the Sampradaya, Vaishnava Sampradaya called Kumara Sampradaya, they grace the place. And Prthu Maharaj, after offering the obeisances, after offering them seat and with all etiquettes, pleased them, asked without wasting time the most important questions. And in that context, we are reading, I think, which verse was that we started? 24.
We started 23, Prabhuji, but I think 23 we read last time also.
Okay. Okay. So, in that, we continue to understand the instructions that Kumaras are giving, or Sanat Kumar is giving to Prithu Maharaj, but is actually very, very important for us. Prithu Maharaj is already realized being. He is actually the incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So, he need not actually ask these questions, or the Kumaras need not say to that basic level, because these um, he has already have a good understanding. He's asking for the benefit of mankind, especially in Kali Yuga. And then these verses are very, very important. And in case if we want, I mean, I'm not so expert, but if people are there who would like to memorize verses, these prayers are very powerful, very nice, that remind us what we should do, what is our position, who is the Lord, and all these things. So we are talking about the 24th, the 24th verse is uh, in continuation to what Kumaras are telling, that attachment to the Lord and detachment from the body can be developed by this process. Uh, so 22, 23, 24 go together. So that's why I'll just kind of read them out. Uh, सश्रद्धा सश्रद्धया भगवद्धर्म चर्चया जिज्ञासया आध्यात्मिकयोगनिष्ठया योगेश्वर उपासनया नित्यं पुण्यश्रवया कथया punyaya. So having faith, being inquisitive about the process of bhakti, applying bhakti yoga in life, worshipping the Lord or topmost yogi, regularly hearing and chanting the Lord's glories. So this is what is the hmm, how we can develop attachment. These actions are pious in themselves. What is that? Attachment for Supreme can be increased by practicing devotional service. So we all want to mm, be uh, focused, concentrated in uh, Supreme Lord, and that is possible by practicing devotional service. And How can we practice ease? By inquiring about the Supreme Lord. Hmm. When we know a person better, then we can develop attachment. We can serve him, applying bhakti yoga in life, worshipping the Yogeshwara. The Yogeshwar can be seen as the Supreme Lord, and also Yogeshwara is also called as a topmost devotee. And by hearing and chanting, hmm, by this process of hearing Nityam Punya Shrava Kathaya, the Shravanam Kirtanam or Shravanam Kathanam are very, very important. And how Nityam, just as we are saying Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, here we are saying that by hearing and chanting about the glories of the Supreme Lord, these actions are pious. Hmm. Yes, God, sorry. One second. Okay. So, and then, but how can we develop that? Then the next verse says, Artha Indriya Arama Sagoshti Atrasnaya, which means not associating with persons who are interested in what? Artha and Indriya, who are interested in money making and satisfying the senses or sense enjoyment. So not associating with them. Artha Indriya Arama, and one who is interested in what? Activities that give them more materialistic comfort, like uh, laziness. Mm. And then tat sammatanam aparigrahena cha, not associating with associates of materialists or not accepting their goals. So Sanat Kumar is saying not only don't associate with the uh, materialistic people, he's also saying don't associate with people who are hearing about them or who are inspired by them, because it is sometimes not so mm, in our control that we may lose our control after it's too late. And that the too late is when we already are seeing people who are materialists and then we are inspired. Rather, if someone is telling about the glories of material world, we should understand that he is already affected. So we should even not associate with such person. Uh, it might appear that in 21st century, why are we discriminating so much? It doesn't matter in which century we are. It's very important that we understand how careful we should be. That is the point here. And then um, Vivikta Ruchya, being disgusted with the taste of sense enjoyment. This Virakti. Vivikta means to have repulsion towards sense enjoyment. Uh, pari, Paritosha Atmani, being satisfied in the self. Vina Hare Guna Piyusha Panat, molding one's life so that one cannot live in peace without drinking the nectar of the Lord's qualities. So we should make our life mold around Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Why? Because Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is giving us the tips of how to mold our lives such a way that we can always remember the Lord. Uh, because in this material world, it's very, very uh, happening, right? There's so many happenings that are happening. Uh, uh, but we need spiritual boost, or we need spiritual strength to uphold ourselves, not to lose our focus. Like the other day, yesterday, Satish Prabhu had a big launch. He would have seen so many things. I would have called him attention. Do that. We have to do this. Oh, this is not working. That does need to be done. Or someone. So many things can happen in our life. Every one of us are going through busy days, busy lives, and all we have to understand that okay, is it making me remember the Lord? Uh, if that is the case, that's fine. Otherwise, we have to mold ourselves. Vina Harer Guna Piyusha Panat. Molding one's life so that one cannot live Vina Harer Guna, without living peace, without drinking the nectar of the Lord's qualities. And then we proceed to the verse 24. So, and then here it says, Ahimsaya uh, Paramas, Paramaha, sorry. Ahimsaya Paramahamsya Acharya. So, what we have to understand also is how to get to that stage. If Bhagavatam is telling it's so wonderful, the book has so many verses, 14,092 verses. A very nice scripture and very comprehensive scripture, but where to start, how to understand what are the basic building blocks so that I can develop this. So, first, the quality mentioned is ahimsaya, being very non-violent. Non-violent is very, very important. And then Prabhupada goes to the extent that what is violence and what is non-violence. If I have that marked here, give me 1 second. Trying to avoid, yes. Ahimsaya. Ahimsaya paramahamsya charyaya. Acharyaya. So, charyaya. So, a candidate for spiritual advancement must be non-violent, and a devotee is a sadhu. A sadhu means one who is non-violent, a saintly person. The first qualification of sadhu is ahimsa, non-violence. Persons interested in the path of devotional service or in going back to home must first practice ahimsa or non-violence. And we also know this the qualities of Vaishnava or is what is that? Titikshasva Karunika. Sahrada Sarvadehinam. Sahrada Sarvadehinam is non-violence. Hmm. If he suffers, a devotee should be tolerant and should be very compassionate towards others. For example, if he suffers personal injury, he should tolerate. Uh, so one should tolerate. This is what is the life. That is the, so just like fire. Fire is very nice to see. And then if I put my hand and it's burning, then we say, "Hey, it's so nice, but when I'm keeping my hand, it burns my hand." No, but that is the nature of fire. That is the nature of the fire, and then we have just like a sugar. If it doesn't sweet, then it's not sugar. So this material world, dharma is what? Yeah? This material world, dharma is to um, make us aware. hmm, what is reality? Yeah? To know what is reality, then there is situations where things are um, designed in that way, the laws of nature. And when we are in the laws of nature, we go through the turbulences, and we cannot complain. Hey, this is not stable. This is not um, um, pleasing always. There's always pleasure. There's always pain. All these things. We should understand that the nature way we are living in this world is like this. If we want a better world, then we have to do something else. We have to go there. Just like if a person who's in a slum, he understands this is not the place to live, then he works hard, he gets a job, he moves to a different high society. Uh, so, and of course, after some time, he understands this high society is also more dangerous. Then he has to find a way where he has to go. Is it? I thought it is low society, medium society, high society. All are problems because still those are in the limits of the material world. So then we understand there is something higher we have to go. So here, for example, he suffers a personal injury, he should tolerate. A sadhu, uh, he understands that we are in this place and injuries are normal. Janma, Mriti, Jara, Vyadhi. Vyadhi and Jara, these are, uh, um, yeah, facts of life. Because these are facts of life, we should understand that we should tolerate. The whole world is full of violence, and the devotee's first business is to stop this violence. So we can not say that ahimsa means that okay, let me tolerate. Huh? Ahimsa means that not only that we tolerate, but we understand that uh, when there is unnecessary slaughter of animals, if we can stop that, that is also our business. A devotee is the friend not only of human society but of all living entities. He does not claim himself to be the only son of God and allow all others to be killed. Some religions we may hear that the Lord has sent all the animals for killing for so that we can live. There is also But how can the Lord do that? How can He say that, okay, I have 100 sons, you use 50 sons, what I have created for your own sustenance? Hmm. Suhrada Sarva Dehinam, a true devotee is the friend of all living entities. Krishna claims in Bhagavad Gita to be the father of all species of living entities. Consequently, the devotee of Krishna is always a friend of all. Huh? Ahimsa is very important. What is next thing? Ahimsa, um, Paramhamsya Acharya. The next one. Such non-violence can be practiced only when one follows in the footsteps of great acharyas. So otherwise we may think, hey, is it not logical? Is it not practical? Is it not obvious? Is it not, uh, yeah, it's a no-brainer, right? Animals are there for maintenance of humankind. No. Or if someone gets, no, 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 it's not for that. Um, people, animals are there because, yeah, because they desire to be like that. So the Lord has created and has put up in the same place. No, animals are there for uh, food for not us, but food for other animals. Like a snake eats a rat eats I don't know what. Hmm. Uh, so in that way, hmm. So in that way, um, there is a process, and it's not said that okay, the humans can kill animals and eat. So how can we understand? How can we do is that we have to follow the acharyas because acharyas understand scriptures, understand the ways how to techniques how to follow, and then when we take in the footsteps, hmm, acharyavan purusho veda. It is said therefore, one who follows the disciplic succession of acharya knows things as they are. Chandogya Upanishad. Tad vijnanartham sa gurum eva vigachat. In order to understand the transcendental science, one must approach the bona fide spiritual master, Mundaka Upanishad 1 to 12. The word smritya, and afterwards the third quality, what is mentioned? First is ahimsa, second is Paramhamsa Acharya, Acharyaya, to follow them. And then third one is smritya. Smritya is very important in spiritual life. Spir- Smritya means remembering Krishna always. Smriti means to remember. No, but Smritya should immediately make us understand Smritya means remembering Krishna. It is not about remembering my past life. It is not remembering my, what do you call those wonderful school days. It's not remembering our college days. It's not remembering those great achievements. It is not about remembering, because if it's mentioned Smritya, Smriti means not just to remember, but Smritya means clearly that one should remember Krishna, nothing else. That is very, very important for us in the society. Why? Because when we remember Krishna, then only we can be um, focused on our goal. Whenever we are remembering anything else is only a distraction because it will carry our thoughts, our mind, our energy in that direction. And because of that, what is happening? When it is carrying us in different directions, we start going there and we are being dragged. Huh? Mind is um, distract us. Hmm. Uh, what is the other word? In projects, NFR have any, not NFR. So it's not so important. Uh, there is a way to know whether a particular project is going to be successful, knowing by their distractors. If it is having a lot of distract, people are not interested, then the project is changed. So we should also understand that okay, by remembering all those nonsense, our life is not changing for good. A good change when we want, we should understand what should we remember. And Prabhupada is clearly mentioning. Smritya means, when Sanat Kumar is saying, it refers to what? Remembering Krishna. Life should be molded in such a way that one cannot remain alone without thinking of Krishna. So we may prefer that, oh, how nice if I am left alone. Uh, how nice if I am left alone. I'm independent. I can do whatever I want. But what is the danger when we are left alone? When we are alone, is that we may remember so many unnecessary things. We should mold such a way our life that when we are in the association of devotees or when we are in active services, then what is happening? Obviously, we remember Krishna. Life should be molded in such a way that one cannot remain alone without thinking of Krishna. So, which means he cannot sit alone. It's not like, okay, not doing anything. This is not at all possible. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna is also asking, mind is always constantly thinking. Krishna is also approving that. But how can we, um, sometimes we may say, "Yeah, let me be sit alone so that I can be peaceful, I can meditate, I can relax, I can have good health, stress-less life, stress-free life, and all these things." No, one should not be like that alone without thinking Krishna. We should live in we should live in Krishna so that while eating, sleeping, walking, and working, we remain only in Krishna. Our Krishna Consciousness Society recommends that we arrange our living so that we can remember Krishna. So it starts at how we are living. Yeah, Krishna consciousness. How can we be Krishna conscious? Is how can we live in Krishna consciousness, or how can we live in Krishna? So through that we can living in Krishna. Just imagine like how can we swim? We can swim in the water, right? We cannot swim outside the water. We cannot just say, "Hey, I'm swimming, but I'm just on the bank of the river." No, we have to get into the water. When we are saying being Krishna conscious means to be in Krishna. To be in Krishna means to surround ourselves with all Krishna conscious elements, which means bhakti, devotional. It could be a house, but house not um, very lavish uh, with those wonderful marble stones with wonderful uh, architecture and all. No, it's more about wherever we see in our home, we should see Krishna, molding our life, molding living, just like how if this house is full of Krishna's photos. Yeah, every wall there is no gap. Everywhere there is only Krishna photos, Krishna's paintings, music, or everything that reminds Krishna that it means that we are living in Krishna. So similarly, I mean, I'm giving an example of house, but what does it mean to live in Krishna? Means to fill ourselves full of Krishna. Um, Prabhupada even gives an example. In our ISKCON society, the devotees, while engaged in making spiritual sky incense, while making agarbatis, are also hearing about the glories of Krishna or his devotees. The Shastras recommend Smartavya Shatatam Vishnu. Uh, Smartavya, the theme itself means Smartavya Satatam Vishnu, always. Lord Vishnu should be remembered always, constantly. And Vismartavyo na jatu chit. Vismara means what forget. Vishnu should never be forgotten. That is the spiritual way of living life. What is called smritya means the definition. This remembrance of Lord can be continued if we hear about him constantly. It is therefore recommended in this verse. Mukunda acha Mukunda charita griha siduna. Sidu means nectar. To hear about Krishna from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita or similar authentic literature is to live in Krishna consciousness. Such concentration in Krishna consciousness can be achieved by persons who are strictly following the rules and regulative principles. We have recommended in our Krishna consciousness movement that a devotee chants 16 rounds on beats daily and follow the regulative principles. That will help the devotee be fixed in his spiritual advancement in life and very strong, very clear. Yeah, people find it very difficult. Follow four regulative principles. Oh, it's very difficult. Chanting. Oh, I don't get taste. I don't like. I don't. I feel like bored. I feel like mm, not so interesting. Uh, yeah, that is our consciousness. When our consciousness is refined, what will happen when our consciousness is maturing? We understand. Oh, the secret of our success is in chanting. There is no other way. We have been thinking there are so many other alternatives, there are so many other ways through which we can achieve success. No, when we understand that our spiritual success is depending heavily on the chanting of the holy name, then we become more serious. Then we think, oh, inattentive chanting can again endanger my life into another life. Hmm. In this life, I have the golden opportunity that I am having all the necessary facilities that I could peacefully sit in one place and do japa. Uh, if we are asking any gift, can't this be a great gift in our life? In our life, we are able to do japa. There are so many situations. Yeah, just imagine if you are sitting in a war, country which is yeah restricted. There is no freedom, no independence. And no, we are very fortunate by the Krishna's arrangement that we have all the facilities that we need Japamala, that is there, we need time, that is there, we need uh, comfort, arrangements, those are there. What is required is ourselves to take it seriously. So, usually, because we are not enjoying the taste of japa, then what we think that this japa is okay, a formality, because this japa needs to be done, I'm doing because this japa I have committed, that's why I'm doing. Otherwise, so this Prabhu may think, oh, yeah, Sudama Prabhu said 6 rounds, now 8 rounds. Oh my God, what I have to sacrifice in my life. Yeah. No, when we take such sacrifice, we are enjoying further. It's not like we are losing, we are actually on track. And then what is happening because of that? We may think, oh, yeah, because Sudama Prabhu asked, oh, I can't say no, let me do. And if I'm doing, but yeah, how can I get that time? What I will do is I will do parallel processing. I'll do that and this together uh, while mm, watching or while reading. I can also do japa. After all, humans are expert in doing multiple things at the same time, but that will only hamper our success. Uh, what will happen? Whatever little taste that you had with 4 rounds, with 8 rounds, that is going to go out. Why? Because uh, inattentiveness is getting in. Rather, we should understand that yes, I myself would like to increase my rounds. I myself would like to increase the quality of my rounds. I myself am enjoying this. Or even if I'm not enjoying, as a matter of duty, let me do. Let Krishna do what he wants. I want to please him. If he doesn't want to please me, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine, right? No, 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 no. Why is it like that? I am, after all, doing it for pleasing the Lord, is so that I am pleased. No, there is nothing like a business that I do something and then I get something. We have to do it, but we have not done it so far. Let's do it. Just like in paying income tax. Paying income tax means we are already due to pay, isn't it, Sadiq Prabhu? Hmm? It's not like,
Yes,
okay, no, it's
yes.
a privilege. If I want to pay, I will do. I will otherwise, no. Otherwise, then we are punished. Similarly, when we didn't do japa properly, when we didn't have the smritya, uh, Satatam Vishnu, then what happened? We are paying penalty. We are paying fine. We are here. And then what we should do? We should understand this and then we should get it more serious. Oh, yes. Take grace period, isn't it? When we take the grace period, what happens? We are more serious. Otherwise, what will happen? You are thrown out, right? In this case, what is thrown out means it's not like thrown out of this material world, but thrown out from this planet Earth into a more disgusting place, more hellish conditions. When everything is so comfortable, I don't know if Hemagori Mataji is there. Mataji, when everything is comfortable, then we are struggling. And when things get more difficult, how difficult it becomes. Just imagine ourselves to be, I mean, in, in the last week of December, anyway, we are discussing Jada Bharat life. But just imagine what happens when things become, oh, is next life guaranteed to be a human form?
Yes, Prabhuji, sometimes we think at least now we are doing this process, but still I have a doubt, maybe I may go to hell also, but wherever I should remember Krishna's name, even if hell, please help me to remember the Lord names.
Yeah.
There is no guarantee. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, coming back it's very, very important that we understand this importance and follow the four regulative principles as much as we can. Of course, nothing is just on-off switch. So, which means, oh, four regulative principles. Yes, I will follow. There are some um, challenges, but we should take it as austerities. We will not like it. We will not like to avoid mm, gambling. You should understand, no, no, by indulging in gambling, Yudhishthir Maharaj, what happened? Hmm. Gambling is such a dangerous thing. Of course, I've given an example of a king who was rightfully done. That's okay. But we should understand that indulgence in gambling makes us, yeah, more greedy. Hmm. Just like if you, anyone, if they want to play, why will they play? They play because that they can win. I'm not going to play that I'm a loser. So, and sometimes in this greed, we don't know, are we really going to get what is really valuable or something that is actually uh, a piece of stool. Mm. So that's why for following four regulative principles is important, that we purify our consciousness. And when we purify our consciousness, then we can do our japa properly. Otherwise, what is happening is we don't get the taste of japa. Similarly, when we don't do japa, we don't improve our quality of following four regulative principles. So these both go hand in hand. And by doing this, what is happening? That will help the devotee be fixed in his spiritual advancement in life. We all want advancement in terms of our real happiness. We may think so many other ways, but our advancement should be spiritual oriented, not material oriented, because material orientation advancement can only uh, mm, give us immediate benefit. Mm, that advancement, yeah, can only give us immediate temporary benefit, not everlasting permanent benefit. All these things anyway will come in Jada Bharat Upakhyan. Then further, then the next is, it's also stated in this verse that one can advance by controlling the senses. Yamaha. Huh? Yama means not Yamadharmaraj. Yeah, not that we control Yama and then, okay, hey Yama, don't give me place in hell. Hmm? As Hemagori Mataji was saying, na, oh, be careful now. We don't know where we will get. No, let's go to Yama and ask him, no, no, I don't want hell, but I want a recommendation letter to heaven, hmm, where there is more facilities to enjoy. No, here when we are telling about Yamaha, yeah, Yamai means to controlling the senses. It is also stated in this verse that one can advance by controlling the senses. By controlling the senses, one can become Swami or Goswami. Hmm. It is possible when one does not desire any material sense gratification. This is only possible. If by chance the senses want to work independently, what should we do? Hmm. What should we do when the senses are asking something, are demanding something? He must control them. It's what Prabhupada is mentioning. If we simply practice avoiding material sense gratification, controlling the senses is automatically achieved. Huh? Avoid material sense gratification will make our senses um, distasteful for material enjoyment, which means the more and more we are giving, the more and more they are interested to enjoy, the more and more they want, uh, the more. Oh, you know, um, I don't know. I don't know if someone has seen a black and white movie. Yeah, people were bored. After some time, what they wanted, there is a next, what is it called? Eastman color movie. I don't know if you have seen such movies where there is only three colors or four colors dominant. They don't look like that. It's not like the person is yellow, mm, but the person, those technology at that time was able to show only that. And then um there came this color, mm, and then 3D, 2D, and then HD, and so many variations are coming. And the more and more we are seeing, we think, wow, it is so nice. And then we wanted still more and more. And to the fact for that, I don't know if in other languages there's something like that done. In Telugu language where I come from, there is a very nice movie in a black and white. Mm. And then they start adding, oh, so nice. In those days, the king or the queens, they have been dressed so nicely with nice clothing, nice ornaments. Why don't we make that a remake of that movie into color and then release? And then, so in that way, some crazy ideas will come just to satisfy our own interest of seeing, yeah, sight. And similarly, so many things are there. Uh, I don't know if you have come across something called fusion cooking or fusion kitchen. Yeah, no traditional. Those traditional are old. Let's mix up something, and then we don't know, are we mixing as per Ayurveda? Yeah. And in this way, what is happening is we're always behind doing something, change, so that we want to see that by this change can we enjoy more. Whereas the truth is that if we simply practice avoiding material sense gratification, so if we practice that, oh, what's so great, let me not see that. By seeing what is happening, it's only agitation. The mind is becoming more agitated, yeah, rather than actually when we do something, our heart should be sushitalam. Yeah, heart should become uh, pleasant, pleasantfully cooling. But what is happening is the agitation, mind is agitated. Huh? And all these disturbances can be avoided when we take care that, okay, I should practice avoiding material sense gratification. When we avoid it, people may say, in this world, come on, how can you be like that? Then you will be a loser. No, no, we are actually not loser. We are actually successful. Why? Because we understand what we should do. Uh, just like if a person has to enjoy five-star facilities, he has to give up first one-star facility wherever he is living. No, 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 no. Whatever is there in first star, one star, I want it in five-star. Then the person will say, just stay in the one-star hotel. Why you want to come to the five-star hotel? Because you will not have that. You will not have that gutter. You will not have that mosquitoes. You will not have all this in the five-star. Now you decide. Do you want to be in the five-star or the one-star hotel? Hmm. No ventilation, no lighting, no clean. What is that guy who comes to clean? You clean yourself. You know clean bed sheets. You do yourself. No, then we think, no, it's not good. So we have to give up. So when we give up, then we come to this level. And then it's further. Another important point mentioned in this connection is Anindaya. And Prabhupada gives further explanation about the importance of this. We should not criticize. We should not criticize. To the extent Prabhupada is mentioning, we should not criticize others' methods of religion. So we should not criticize Christianity. We should not criticize Islam. We should not criticize uh, uh, because people are practicing various different religions based on what is that? The modes of nature, the quality that they have, qualities of nature that they have. So um, those operating in the modes of ignorance and passion cannot be as perfect as the system in the mode of goodness. That is obvious, right? A government where the governing or the governance from a governing body which is very uh, much in a mode of goodness, they govern very nicely. They understand what is good, what is bad, what should be there, what should not be there, what should be the laws of uh, the court, and all these things. What is the constitution? Uh, so all these things are well thought and well maintained also. So obviously, one who is in the mode of goodness, his practices, his principles are superior. Whereas those operating in the mode of ignorance and passion cannot be as perfect as that. In Bhagavad Gita, everything has been divided into three qualitative divisions. Therefore, religious systems are similarly categorized. When people are mostly under the modes of passion and ignorance, their system of religion will be of same quality. A devotee, instead of criticizing such systems, will encourage the followers of to stick to their principles so that gradually they can come to the platform of religion in goodness. So rather, when we do criticize that, hey, see, you use this, and then the person is not able to understand, he's just thinking, okay, how can you say that? Because I think this is supreme. Everyone is thinking that what I'm doing is the best, that is supreme. I don't know if Sesha Prabhu is there. Don't we see people coming across and then we say, hey, whatever they are doing the best. They think they're- whenever we ask what is best, they say it depends. It depends on what? It depends on people perception. No, if 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 we see the sun in the sky, and if one is perceiving less warm, other one is perceiving very hot, huh? Who cares? Sun is anyway not going to change for people. Sun is absolute truth, hmm, that he is hot. hmm, And just because I don't feel the heat, because my level of laziness is not able to get that warm, I cannot. Uh, but still, we do not criticize, but rather we see that we can make a relationship with them. This is very important, especially for us if we want to preach. We should understand that not everyone is at that same level. Even ourselves, who are we? How are we? What level are we? Uh, we maybe are in a staircase of 100 steps. Maybe one is in fourth step and maybe I'm in the fifth step. But all of us are still climbing. We are still in the journey to achieve the 100 step, isn't it? So if we are just in one step ahead, we can just say, hey, you know what? After so and so step, you be careful. Just like when we are walking, a person who has already crossed that, he can tell, okay, there is no fencing here, or no, this step is broken, or we have to be very vigilant. We have to be very careful. That's what we can just bring them to that level. Plain living and high thinking are recommended for a devotee. He should accept. Okay, we are already going to the next quality. What is that? Nirihaya, simple living. Niriha means gentle, meek, or simple. Um, a devotee should not live very gorgeously and imitate a materialistic person. Usually, what happens is we are always in the mode of comparison, and in this process of comparison, we say, "Hey, he has that. Let me also have." After all, I'm using it for Krishna consciousness. Uh, if we have our desire to enjoy that, and we cannot put a label that, oh, no, this will be used for Krishna, it is only hypocrisy and hype. This is like cheating. In the disguise of devotion, we practice so many self-interested things. Oh, I want to watch a movie. Let me watch something where this is there, because after all, this is not bad. So in that way, we compromise our core regulative principles, or we compromise our standard of living in devotional life. So plain living and high thinking are recommended for devotee. He should accept only so much as he needs to keep the material body fit for execution of devotional service. He should not eat or sleep more than is required. Simply eating for living and not living for eating, and simply sleeping only 6 to 7 hours a day are principles to be followed by devotees. As long as the body is there, it is subjected to influence of climatic changes, diseases, and natural disasters, the threefold miseries of material existence. We cannot avoid them. Hmm. Why this is happening to me? That's not the question. How can I get out of it? That is the question. As long as the body is there, it is subjected to these influences. We cannot avoid them. Sometimes we receive letter from neophyte devotees questioning why they have fallen sick, although practicing Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, don't we have this question? Hey, oh, he's a great devotee, but still he has suffered like a common man, burnt in fire accident, or uh, uh, died in a natural disaster, or when flight uh, crashed. The devotees are there. How is it possible? Is Lord not merciful? Hmm? So they should learn from this verse that they have to become Dvanda Titiksha. Dvandva means duality. This world of duality. One should not think that because he has fallen sick, he has fallen from Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness can continue without impediment from any material opposition. Huh? Lord Sri Krishna therefore advised in Bhagavad Gita, Tam Sthiti Kshasva Bharata. My dear Arjuna, please try to tolerate all these disturbances. Be fixed in your Krishna conscious activities. Wow. This is just one verse. I hope you don't mind me spending that much time because it's very, very important. And of course, the next following verses as well. But are there any questions or anything anyone want to at this point ask? Okay. Because from the next verse, the tone changes. No? Then we'll go further. What should we do then? It's nice to follow regulative principles, nice to do japa, and to do what? Harer muhus tatpara karna pura gunabhi abhi danena vijrambanaya. Vijrambana means increasing. What increase should be there? The devotees should gradually increase the culture of devotional service by constant hearing of the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord, not increase the bank balance. If Krishna wants, he will preserve it. If Krishna wants, it, won't, it won't be there. More important is to sync up with the plans of Krishna. We may have our plans. Very important is that, okay, oh, this is what is Krishna's plans. To understand Krishna's plan is very important. Harer muhut tatpara karna pura gunavi danena vijrambanaya. And then bhaktya hi asangasad asati anatmani syan nirgune brahmani chan chan chandasa ratihi. Chandasa cha means and anjasa easily. The devotee should gradually increase the culture of devotional service by constant hearing of the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord. These pastimes are like uh, ornamental decorations on the ears of devotees. This is what Sanat Kumar is saying. What is the real ornament of a devotee? Oh no, men may say that, hey, anyway, we don't put earrings. We don't want earrings. No, if you see, ear piercing is part of sanskar. What is it called? Chuda. Mm,
Chudamani Prabhuji.
no. The sanskar is called. mm, oh, yeah, there is this different sanskaras, Upanayana sanskar before, and then there is the. Anyway, forgot. So even men, so actually, it's not only that girls are ears are pierced, and then there is this sanskar is also there, but we are not following. Otherwise, even men, women both would have ear earrings. But what is real earring here is mentioned is that hearing, constantly hearing the transcendental qualities. What is the purpose of ear? Huh? What is the purpose of ear? Is to decorate it with what? Not the golden, how big is it, how small it is, how fashionable it is, how good looking it is. We can put a earring. No, it is here mentioned that these pastimes are like the ornamental decorations on the ears of devotees. So we want to we want our ears to always be filled so much. Like just imagine ourselves that our ears are completely full, uh, and so that our ears are becoming, alerted, uh, just like a receiver, right? After all, our ears are our receivers. When there is a signal, what is happening? A tuning happens. Similarly, our ears should be ever eager to hear Bhagavad Katha. Hmm? The transcendental qualities of the Lord will become the qualities of our beautification for the ear. These pastimes are like ornamental decorations on the ears of devotees. And then what is the then bhaktya? This is very important. Bhaktya hi asanga sat asati anatmani. Uh, Opposed to spiritual understanding. Who are they? They are these for entering transcendental devotional service and transcending the material qualities, one can easily be fixed in the transcendence in the supreme person of Godhead. And Prabhupada starts the purport itself saying this verse is especially mentioned to substantiate the devotional process of hearing the subject matter. So, in that way, we can, as I was mentioning, if one is expert in remembering verses, these are wonderful verses. A devotee does not like to hear anything other than subjects dealing with spiritual activities or the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can increase our propensity for devotional service by hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam from realized souls. The more we hear from the realized soul, the more we make advancement in our devotional life. The more we advance in devotional life, the more we become detached from the material world. Huh? This is the step process. What is the process? The process is mentioned here is first to do what? To hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. When the Jnana is there, then what is happening? The more we make advancement uh, in our devotional life journey begins. And when the devotional life journey begins, what happens? The more we advance in devotional life, the more we become detached from the material world. That is the only trick. If we always wanted how to avoid sense gratification, it's very difficult. It is possible by bhakti. The more we advance in the devotional life, the more we become detached from the material world. And what happens? The more we become detached from the material world, the more we increase in attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, therefore, a devotee who actually wants to make progress in devotional life or devotional service and go back home, back to Godhead, must lose interest in sense enjoyment and associate with persons who are after money and sense gratification. We should be very careful because if we are in association of karmis, if we are in association of people who are enjoying, how nice, he's eating nice ice cream. Let me also enjoy. After all, uh, um, it's not going to harm me. And then what happens? With that, slowly, ice cream, and then goes next level and next, and then it all starts with uh, small, what do you call this? A stitch in time saves nine. But if we are not careful, we need a big patch. And then the word Brahmani used in this verse is commented upon by impersonalists or professional reciters of Bhagavatam who are mainly advocates of caste system by demonic birthright. They say Brahmani means the impersonal Brahman, but they cannot conclude this with reference to the context of word bhaktya. That's why here we say bhaktya and gunavidhanena. According to the impersonalist, there are no transcendental qualities in the impersonal Brahman. Therefore, we should understand that Brahmani means the Supreme Lord. Um, and then we know this. What is that? Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaneti Sabdyate. Um, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan can all be taken in total as Brahman. But when there is reference to the word bhakti, this indicates the Supreme, not the impersonal Brahman. And then what is happening? After this, the result of attachment with the Lord, what does it bring? Huh? First of all, what we have to do? We have to control senses. No, let's go to the process. What is the process? First, read here to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Then what is happening? Then the devotional advancement in devotional life happens. What does it mean, advancement in devotional life? It means that we want to do service. We want to engage in the service of the Lord. When we engage in the service of the Lord, what is happening? Then detachment to the material enjoyment will start. We think, okay, until now we thought bhakti means no taste, bhakti means no fun. But we see here, bhakti is full of fun, bhakti is full of relishing happiness. I am seeking happiness in this bhakti process. So controlling senses is, oh, okay, I can do it, yeah, because I'm getting higher taste. And then what is happening when this higher taste is increasing, detachment from the material enjoyment starts, and then after we mature, then we say, hey, Bhagavan, you are everything. Because of you only everything is happening. I am happy because of you. Uh, I want to glorify you. How can I glorify you? Then engage actively, attraction to the Lord that develops. So that is the process. And now in this verse, so Sanat Kumar is saying, upon becoming fixed in attachment to the Supreme Lord, what is going to happen? What is happening? Uh, it is said, such rati, developed by the grace of Guru, awakens jnana and vairagya. So this jnana and vairagya is very important. Sometimes jnana is what happens is they have no vairagya. When they don't have vairagya, what is happening? That jnanis become more puffed up. That, oh, I know everything. Come on, you ask me anything, I have. Uh, I am a question bank. Whatever question you have, I can answer everything. No, that, but if I'm still enjoying myself, all the comforts, all the facilities, because after all, I'm become famous. After all, I'm very what is it? Influential person. Then what is happening? Gyanis uh, lose the track. They are not devotees. I think somewhere Prabhupada also mentions. Gyanis are not devotees. And what about Vairagis? Vairagya. Vairagya without Jnanam is also very dangerous. Why? We don't know why are we stopping something. Just something came to my mind. Today I will not eat. Oh, it's look nice. Tomorrow I will not eat. Day after tomorrow I will not eat. Is there any knowledge why I'm doing it? No, just I'm doing it. That will also make us egoistic. That, hey, there is no great person who is fasting like me. There is no great person. I am great. So both will lead to what? Egoistic mentality. So such rati developed by the grace of Guru. So Guru is very important. Then he will say, hey, you have overdose of Gyan. It should be, I don't know if you have seen Ayurveda, how they mix multiple uh, medicines to prepare the perfect combination for us. Uh, they'll say, hey, no, you have this more, you have to take this. You have this less, you have to take this. They combine and give it into one medicine. So here also a guru does it. What does guru do is he is going to see what is that we are puffed up with. Is it because of jnana we are getting carried away, or is it because of vairagya feeling that we are carried away? Then he says, hey, why are you doing all this? Are you getting taste for Krishna? If not, then all this is wrong. So upon being fixed up in the yeah. So guru is by the grace of the spiritual master. And by awakening knowledge and detachment, the living entity situated within the heart of the body and covered by the five elements burns up his material surroundings exactly as fire arising from wood burns the fire itself. So, this awakening knowledge, by the awakening knowledge and detachment, this jnana and vairagya, uh, what it should do is situate within the heart of the body and covered by the five elements should burn these five elements, which means when we become successful, when our life becomes successful, what we do, we uh, will give up this body and enter we will enter into the spiritual world and have a spiritual body. So this is what it means. Through the process of what? By acquiring the knowledge as well as vairagya, as well as detachment. So through this process, we uh, get free ourselves. It is said that both in the Jivatma and Paramatma uh, live together within the heart. In the Vedic version, it is said, Hridihi Ayam Atma, the soul and super soul both live within the heart. The individual soul is liberated when it comes out of the material heart or cleanses the heart, huh, uh, to make it spiritualized. The example given here is very appropriate. Yonim Ivotisa Agni. Agni or fire comes out of wood, and by it the wood is completely destroyed. Similarly, when a living entity increases his attachment for the Supreme Lord, he is to be considered like fire. It is not the tapo shakti what we say. Hey, we talk about Rishabdev later in in the course of Bharat Upakyan, where we will talk. But a devotee, a blazing fire is visible by its exhibition of heat and light. Similarly, when the living entity within the heart becomes enlightened mm, with full spiritual knowledge and detached from the material world, he burns up his material covering. This is what it means. Therefore, Panchatmakam Panchatmakam means uh, the five coverings. One is one five elements is earth, water, fire, air, sky, mm, and becomes free from the five kinds of material attachments, namely ignorance, false ego, attachment to the material world, envy, and absorption in material consciousness. These are also called Panchatmakam. And in this verse, when Prabhupada is saying, refers to either the five elements of five coverings of the material contamination. Both are referred. When these are all burned into ashes by the blazing fire of knowledge and detachment, one is fixed firmly in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. Unless one takes shelter of the bona fide spiritual master and advances one's attraction for Krishna by the spiritual master's instructions, the five coverings of living entity cannot be removed from the material heart. The living entity is centered within the heart, and to take him away from the heart is to liberate him. Uh, this is the process. One must take shelter of bona fide spiritual master. Give me 1 second. Okay, there I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
An advanced devotee therefore does not live within the material body but within his spiritual body, just as a dry coconut lives detached from the coconut husk, even though within the husk. The pure devotee's body is therefore called Chinmaya Sharira, spiritualized body. In other words, a devotee's body is not connected with material activities, as as such, a devotee is always liberated. Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Srila Rupa Goswami also confirms this. Iha yasya hare dasye karmana manasa gira ni- nikhilasva api avastha avastasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. Oh, forgot this. Whatever his condition may be, one who is engaged fully with his body, mind, and speech in the service of the Lord is liberated even within this body. So that is the essence. And then what is happening? Yeah, because of this bhakti, this five panchatmakam is destroyed, just like a fire destroys the wood from which actually the fire element is present. So then what is happening? The result of destruction of the subtle body. Dagdasayo mukta samasta tad gunu. One no longer sees external, internal obstacles in seeing Paramatma. This is similar to waking state in which one no longer sees the objects in a dream. So we actually are awake. Right now we are all sleeping. Though our eyes are open, our ears are open, our senses are fully active, but because we are not understanding the internal, external, and sense objects. What are the external sense objects? What are the internal disturbances? And what is our relation with Paramatma? Because of all we are not seeing, it is like as if we are in dream. But when we understand this through this process, when a dream is over, there is no longer a distinction between the dream and the dreamer. Hmm. Anya Vilashita Sunya. Rupa Goswami is saying there, and then Prabhupada is quoting that, and again he's bringing this. Iha yasya hare dasya karmana manasa gira nikhilasva api avasthasu jivan mukta. Though we are alive in this body, jivan mukta sa uchyate. We can still be liberated, free. We can still have a such chinmayatmakam, our body, chinmaya sharira. That's what is referred there. And then the effects of presence and absence of subtle body. This is what is further explained. When the soul exists for sense gratification, he creates different desires, and for that reason, he becomes subjected to designations. So, But when one is in transcendental position, he no longer is interested in anything except fulfilling the desires of the Lord. So then it goes further. Uh, Only because of different causes does a person sees a difference between himself and others. Just as one sees the reflection of body appearing uh, differently manifested on water, on oil, or in a mirror. In mirror, we can very extra clearly see our form. In oil, it is yeah, yeah, abstract. In water, depending if the water is still, yeah, we are still, we can see, but still it's kind of a shadow. uh. So in that way, when one becomes a Jivan Mukta, then he can see himself. The spirit soul is one, the supreme personality of Godhead. Hmm. He is manifested in Swamsha and Vibhinna Amsha. The Jiva are Vibhinna Amsha expansions. So we we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. I don't know who was that. Um, Seshtai Prabhu, you remember we're asking why we always say not part of the Lord, part and parcel of the Lord, Vibhinna Amsha. The Jiva and are Vibhinna Amsha. The different incarnations of the Supreme Lord are Swamsha. Thus, there are different potencies of the Supreme Lord and there are different expansions of different potencies. In this way, for different reasons, there are different expansions of the same one person, same one principle. This understanding is the real knowledge. But when the living entity is covered with upadhi, designations, he sees differences exactly as one sees differences in reflection of oneself on water, on oil, or on mirror. The subject is one, but under um, yeah, the subject is one, but under different conditions, it appears differently. When the qualifying factor is taken away, the whole appears to be one. Just as I was giving example of the sun, if different people are seeing and if they perceive it differently, hmm, it still doesn't change the reality. In other words, when one comes to the Paramahamsa or perfectional stage of life by practicing Bhakti Yoga, he sees only Krishna everywhere. That is the sign how much I have been advanced in last 2 years, 3 years, or whenever I took up to Krishna consciousness. Are we seeing everything uh, related to Krishna? Actually, every living entity is the marginal potential of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it is explained that one who actually sees the spirit soul does not distinguish between an learned Brahmana and a dog, an elephant or cow. Pandita Samadarshinaha. Differentiation is therefore the result of different karma or fruitive activities. And when we stop fruitive activities, turning them into acts of devotion, we can understand that we are not different from anyone else, regardless of form. This is only possible in Krishna consciousness. In this moment, there are many different races of men from all parts of the world participating, but because they think of themselves as servant of the Supreme Lord, they do not differentiate between black and white, yellow and red. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore the only means to make the living entities free from all designations, bodies. And then what is happening then from 30 to 34, it is explained the attachment to sense gratification is the cause of samsara. Yeah? This is what I mean. There is purports are very nice. When one's mind and senses are attracted to sense objects for enjoyment, the mind becomes agitated. Hmm. That is what is happening. Indriyer Vishaya Krister Dhyayatam. The thinking of sense gratification just by thought. Dhayato Vishayan. When we have just thought about Vishaya, about the material world, uh, we are sucked into this material world. The example given here is as a result of continuously thinking of sense objects, one's real consciousness almost becomes lost, like the water in a lake that is gradually sucked by the big grass straws on its bank. So this is the first step towards fall. The example given here is very appropriate. If a big lake is covered all around by long kusha grass, just like columns, the water dries up. Similarly, when the big columns of material desire increase, the clean water of consciousness is dried up. Therefore, these columns of kusha grass should be cut or thrown away from the very beginning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed that if from the very beginning we do not take care of unwanted grass in the paddy fields, the fertilizing agents or water will be used by them, and the paddy plants will dry up. The material desire for sense enjoyment is the cause of our fall down, and thus we suffer threefold miseries and continuous birth, death, and old age and disease. However, if we turn our desires towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord, uh, then our desires become purified. We cannot kill desires. We have to purify them of different designations. If we constantly think of being a member of particular nation, society, or family, and continuously think about them, we become more strongly entangled in the conditional life. But if one desires are applied to service of the Lord, they become purified, and thus we become immediately freed from material contamination. This is first thing that we have to check: are we getting um, interested in sense enjoyment? Just thought, desire. Desire is the problem. Then what is happening? If this desire comes, which is not pure, then what is happening? When one deviates from his original consciousness, he loses the capacity to remember his previous position or recognize his present one. When remembrance is lost, when the mind becomes agitated, what is happening? This is happening. All knowledge acquired is based on false foundation. When this occurs, learned scholars consider that the soul is lost. Very dangerous situation. So our chetanam harate buddhi. So discriminating power of intelligence is lost when we start having false understanding, nescience, what do you call, which is not real knowledge. And then what is happening? Nata parataro loke pumsam swartha vyat vyatikramaha yadadi ananyasya preyastvam atmana swa vyatikramat. There is stronger obstruction to one's self-interest than thinking other subject matter to be more pleasing than one's self-realization. Then what is happening? We start thinking, hey, uh, um, that is nice, this is nice. But when it comes to japa, when it comes to spiritual life, we think, oh no, that's not so interesting. It's no taste in this. So Prabhupada mentions in human life is especially meant for self-realization. Self means refers to super self and individual self, uh, the supreme Lord and the individual living entity. When, however, one becomes more interested in the body and bodily sense gratification, he creates for himself obstructions on the path of self-realization. Instead of becoming interested in sense gratification, one should divert his activities to satisfy the senses of the supreme soul. Anything performed contrary to this principle is certainly against one's self-interest. And then eventually what is happening? For human society, constantly thinking of how to earn money and apply it for sense gratification brings about the destruction of everyone's interest. Uh, when one becomes devoid of knowledge and devotional service, he enters into the species of life like those of trees and stones. Hmm. Uh, the what is that that's mentioned? Uh, yeah, that's what happened. Jnana. When jnana is lost, then one doesn't know how is he acting. So a constant thinking of money and its use for sense gratification, it will lead to destruction of our goals. We will start compromising with our goals. No, in January I have kept a resolution that I want to do that, these, but what will happen? When we are constantly thinking of, oh, money is important, and when we think that its sense enjoyment is important, then our goals go back. Hmm, bad step. And then what is happening? Destruction of all our goals. And when the goals are gone, what is happening? Loss of jnana and vijnana is gone. We don't know why are we doing, what are we doing, what is the purpose, and eventually what is happening? Entrance into immovable forms of life. What is that? So, what is the life? Mm-hmm. Animal trees, right? Species uh, of life like those of trees and stones. A species like stone also has life. Um, Therefore, activities directed towards sense gratifications are condemned. So we should be careful. And then what is happening? Those who strongly desire to cross the ocean of nescience must not associate with the modes of ignorance. Huh? Why? Ignorance means hedonistic activities are greatest obstructions to realization of religious. So people may become atheists. Na? People will say, hey, all this religion is bogus, that is all nonsense. Enjoy life. That is what is hedonistic. Very, very adamant, foolish way of thinking. And then what will happen because of that? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha are gone. The four principles of life allow one to live according to religious principles. But if one doesn't care, then we are going to uh, become irreligious. Hmm. And the fourth milestone, what is that? Moksha, is not at all in our vision, not at all in our plan. The Vedic process of sense gratification is therefore planned in such a way that one can economically develop and enjoy sense gratification and yet ultimately attain what is that? Dharma, Artha, Kama leads to what? Moksha. Vedic civilization offers us all knowledge in the Shastras, and if one live a regulated life under the direction of Shastras and Guru, all our material desires will be fulfilled, and at the same time we will be able to go forward to liberation. Hmm. And then of the four, mm, Sanat Kumar is saying, out of the four principles, namely religious, economic development, sense gratification, liberation has to be taken very seriously. Because other things, why we should take it very seriously? Because uh, the other three are all subject to destruction by death. The only thing that can come with us, uh, whether we are a graduate, postgraduate, or even advanced, whether we are managers, whether we are founders, all these designations are only in this world. Uh, if a person dies when he's doing uh, research and he's just going to sign a patent and he dies, in next life he has to again do everything if he still has interest. Anyway, nothing comes with him. So it's very, very important that nothing comes because the with the death, all the three, dharma, artha, kama, are gone. Yeah, one may have very nice, if one is a king, he may have all the facilities. Artha, he may have money. Uh, Kama, he may have uh, supply of facilities for enjoyment, but everything will be given up when he has to go to the next. Only thing that can come with him is the moksha. Moksha has to be taken very seriously, even at the sacrifice of the three items. As advised by Sutta Goswami, Dharma Projita Kaitava. Religious principles are not based on success in economic development because we are very attached to sense gratification. We go to God, to temple or church for some economic reasons. Then again, economic development does not mean sense gratification. Everything should be adjusted in such a way that we all attain liberation. Therefore, in this verse, liberation is stressed. The other three items are material and therefore subject to destruction. Even if somehow we accumulate a great bank balance in this life and possess many material things, everything will be finished with death. Foolishly, we do not care of this. What is that? Ultimately, the Supreme is who ultimately takes away everything acquired by the materialistic person. We may think, no, 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 others are doing, we should do. No, the Lord is going to take away everything at the time of death. So, what is the purpose of doing it? The purpose is that we can sacrifice our interest in thrive varga, religious principles, but we cannot sacrifice the cause of liberation. Regarding liberation, it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Chatta Deham Punarjanma Naiti. Liberation means that after giving up this body, one does not have to accept another material body. That is what we have to aim for. The Lord destroys all the temporary goals. There is nothing auspicious for those whose goals will be destroyed by the Lord as uh, time. Such temporary goals, higher or lower, exist only in relation to the material modes. And that's why uh, one should be very serious towards the path of liberation rather than to just continue in this. There is a very nice purport. I'll give this as a homework. Maybe you guys can read yourself. 36. 36 has very nice examples and yeah, Prabhupada makes it more clear. Regulated human civilization promotes dharma, artha, kama, moksha. In the human society, there must be religion. Without religion, human society is only animal society. So there is further how Ravana does. Um, yeah, please read that, and then we go through the remaining 3 verses, which is telling about Bhakti Mishra Jnana. So the predominance of Jnana and goal of Sahajya Mukti is mentioned here. Sanat Kumar advised the king, therefore, my dear King Prthu, try to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is living within everyone's heart, along with the individual soul, in each and every body, either moving or not moving. The individual souls are fully covered by the gross material body and subtle body made of the life and intelligence. So this is the knowledge. This is the knowledge. Understanding the super soul is there. The super soul is present in everyone, and then um, then he's saying that's why surrender. Yes, mean the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself as one with the cause and effect within this body, but one who has transcended the illusory energy by deliberate consideration, which clears the misconception of snake for a rope, can understand that Paramatma is eternally transcendental to material creation and situated in pure internal energy. Thus, the Lord is transcendental to uh, all material contamination. Unto Him only must one surrender. And Prabhupada is mentioning again. All these purports, yeah, because running short of time, kind of saying, the purports give further elaborate understanding. Because sometimes people may think, hey, why ISKCON, Hare Krishna people are behind the Mayavadis always? It's very important to say where the philosophy has a flaw. We are not kind of uh, yeah, we are kind of vigilant that we don't accept everything is one. We may think, hey, this is right, this is right. No, when there is something that philosophy is deviant from the actual scriptures hmm, for a purpose, for a good purpose, then we have to say this verse is specifically stated to defy the Mayavad conclusion of oneness without differentiation between the individual soul and the super soul. And purport goes further. Thus, the Lord is transcendental to all material contamination. Unto Him only must one surrender. And and then what we should do is we have to give up. Uh, the devotees who are always engaged in the service of the toes of the Lord, of the lotus feet of the Lord, can very easily overcome hard knotted desire for fruitive activities. Uh, Yad pada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya karmashayam gratitam udgratayanti shanta tadvan na rikta matayo yatayo api ruddha Sroto Ganastam Granam Bhaja Vasudevam. This is, I think, you may also have heard quoting. This is also one of the quoted verses. Mm. The devotees who are always engaged in the service of the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord can very easily overcome hard knotted desires for fruitive activities. That is our hope. The hope is here. We may think, hey, it's not so easy. My senses are dragging me. Every day I try and fail. No, here, the devotees who are always engaged in service of the lotus with the Lord, for them, hard knotted desires for fruitful activities can be cut. Hmm. Because this is very difficult, the non devotees, the jnanis, the yogis, you see, this is what I was mentioning. Huh? I don't know in other reference where uh, um, jnanis who are knowledgeful or yogis who are vairagis, jnana and vairagya, uh, they are still considered non-devotees because uh, because this is very difficult. The non-devotees, jnanis and yogis, although trying to stop the waves of sense gratification, cannot do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in the devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. So it is clear that it is not at all possible. The Gyanis and Yogis cannot attain success. They cannot control. For some time, they may control. They may be again lost because of the fruits. Some fruits are not tasty, isn't it? Some fruits are bitter. Some fruits are sweet. Some fruits are poisonous. Some fruits are healthy. So there are. It's not every fruit is tasty. Every fruit is good. No, there are some fruits. It depends on what is the tree. So Jnana and Vairagya, we should understand the fruits can kind of be very risking us to continue in this sansar. Hmm. Um, so there are three kinds of transcendentalists trying to overcome the influence of the modes of material nature, Jnani, Yogi, and Bhakta. All of them attempt to overcome the individual influence of the senses, which is compared to the incessant waves of a river. And now the example given here is the waves. And the easy example is another analogy I can give is uh, just imagine you have turned on a light in your home, in your room. Yeah, it is so nice. But what is happening is when sun is there, what is the effect of this small light? Can we see this light at all? No. Similarly, the waves of the river flow incessantly, and it is very difficult to stop them. So the desires are so strong. The desires are so strong. But when we purify the desires, similarly, the waves of desires of material enjoyment are so strong that they cannot be stopped by any process other than bhakti yoga. The bhaktas, by their transcendental devotional service under the lotus feet of the Lord, become so overwhelmed with the transcendental bliss. But but what is happening is when um, when we are engaged in devotional service, the bliss that is coming to us, the happiness that is coming to us, will make us do more and more devotional service, and which means that the waves of our material desires, they are nothing, not so. We say, okay, we can satisfy that later. I'm not so uh, passionate to get it done. I'm not so disturbed. I'm not so agitated. Why? Because we are already covered by the waves of the blissful devotional service. Uh, The Gyanis and Yogis are not attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, simply struggle against the waves of desire. They are described in this verse as Rikta Mataya, which means devoid of devotional service. In other words, the Gyanis and Yogis, although trying to be freed from the desires of material activities, actually become more and more entangled in false philosophical speculation or strenuous attempts to stop the activities of senses. As stated previously, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnana Jnanam Cha Yad Ahetukam. Bhagavatam 127. Here also the same point is stressed. Bhaja Vasudevam indicates that one who is engaged in the loving service of Krishna. Here we are saying Bhaja Vasudevam, Vasudevam, son of Vasudev, is very clear. No need to do any interpretation. Can very easily stop the waves of desire. As long as one continues to try to artificially stop the waves of desire, he will certainly be defeated. Uh, I think the other day, last Sunday, I think we were discussing that. The questions may come like, oh, sometimes, is Krishna the Supreme? Here we can clearly see Sanat Kumar is also clearly mentioning Bhajavasudevam. Uh, as long as one continues to try to artificially stop the waves of desire, he will certainly be defeated. That is indicated in this verse. Desires for fruitive activities are strongly rooted, but the trees of desire can be uprooted completely by devotional service because devotional service employs superior desire. One can give up inferior desires when engaged in superior desires. To try to stop desires is impossible. One has to desire the supreme in order not to be entangled in inferior desires. Jnanis maintain desire to become one with the Supreme, but such desire is also considered to be kama, lust. Similarly, the yogis desire mystic power, and that is also kama. And bhaktas, not being desirous of any sort of material enjoyment, become purified. There is no artificial attempt to stop desire. Desire becomes a source of spiritual enjoyment. It is stated herein by the Kumaras that the lotus feet of Krishna are the ultimate reservoir of all pleasure. One should therefore take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord instead of trying unsuccessfully to stop desires for material enjoyment. As confirmed by Yamunacharya, since he has been engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord, there is always a there's always a current of newer and newer desires flowing to serve the Lord. So much so that the stagnant desire of sex life becomes very insignificant. Yamanacharya even says that he spits on that desire. Finally, Bhagavad Gita 259 also confirms Param Drishtva Nivartate. The conclusion is that by developing a loving desire for sense, for service of the lotus feet of Lord, we subdue all material desires for sense gratification. And I think we read 40th one also, right? This is very important verse. Tucho Mahaniha Bhavanarnava Aplavisham Sadvarganatram Asukhena Titir tat tvam harer bhagavato bhajaniyam anghrim prutvodupam vyasanam uttara dushta dushtararnam. Yeah, difficulty. It says that the ocean of Nisans is very difficult to cross because it is infested with many dangerous sharks. Uh, many dangerous sharks are there. Nakram. Although those who are not devotees undergo severe austerities and penances to cross that ocean, we recommend that you simply take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are like boats for crossing the ocean. Can we cross the ocean inside the ocean in water? There are dangerous sharks, but if there is a boat, then there is no risk. Although the ocean is difficult to cross, by taking shelter of the lotus feet of you, lotus feet by taking shelter of his lotus feet, you will overcome all dangers of life. Material existence is compared here into the great ocean of nescience. Another name of this is Vaitarani, of this ocean. In that ocean, Vaitarani, which is causal ocean, there are innumerable universes floating like footballs. On the other side of the ocean is the spiritual world of Vaikuntha, which is described in Bhagavad Gita 8:20 as Paras Tasmat to Bhave Anyaha. Thus, there is an ever existing spiritual nature which is beyond this material nature. Even though all the material universes are annihilated again and again in the causal ocean, the Vaikuntha planets, which are spiritual, exist eternally and are not subject to dissolution. Human form of life gives the living entity a chance to cross the ocean of nescience, which is this material universe, and enter into the spiritual sky. Although there are many methods or boats by which one can cross the ocean, the Kumaras recommend that the king takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, just as one would take shelter of a good boat. Non-devotees who do not take shelter of lotus feet of Lord try to cross the ocean by other methods, karma, jnana, and yoga, but they have a great deal of trouble. Indeed, sometimes they become so busy simply enjoying their troubles that they never cross the ocean. There is no guarantee that the non-devotees will cross the ocean, but even though they manage to cross, they have to undergo severe austerities and penances. On the other hand, anyone who takes to the process of devotional service and has faith that the lotus feet of the Lord are the safe boats to cross that ocean is certain to cross very easily and comfortably. Prthu Maharaj is therefore advised to take the boat of lotus feet of Lord to easily cross over all dangers. Dangerous elements in the universe are compared to sharks in the ocean. Even though one may be very expert swimmer, he cannot possibly survive if he is attacked by sharks. One often sees that many so-called swamis and yogis sometimes advertise themselves as competent to cross the ocean of nescience and to help other cross, but in actuality, they are found to be simply victims of their own senses. Instead of helping their followers to cross the ocean of nescience, such swamis and yogis fall prey to Maya, represented by the fair sex, woman, and are thus devoured, devoured by the sharks in that ocean. This is the Prabhupada from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam teaching. So, what is easy? Bhakti. Uh, to the what is that? Vasudevam Bhaje. Hmm. Okay. Thank you very much. Does anyone want to share anything? Add anything? Questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhu, you mentioned that there was no religion for like Ravana.
No, I
Ravana,
didn't
all
say
the
that.
demons. The demons.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, so there was a religion for the Asuras also, no? That's Asuras
Yeah, yeah.
religion they follow. Right?
Asura,
Is it?
Asura Varnashrama is there. Yeah. So, what is Asura Varnashrama? I mean, we don't have to go to Ravana's time. You can even see Asura Varnashrama is even now. A Varnashrama system which is devoid of God but following on paper. Yeah. So, for example, the so-called Brahmanas who are not Brahmanas, right? Hmm? So, Varnashrama is to practice religion properly, and when we don't, uh, then it's not no more anymore. It's proper Varnashrama. It is Asura Varnashrama. They will also have all the rules and regulations. Uh, Even Ravana time. I don't know if who is that. Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu is there. He can help. If in Yuddha Kanda there is clear elaborate explanation that yajnas were performed in Lanka also by Ravana. Uh, but how to become more rich, how to become more prosperous, how to become more powerful. Uh, so there is also Brahmana class that time in that. But what are they doing? They're kind of using all their time and energy of how to become more materially uh, successful. Hmm? Just imagine, no country can. I want to become the number one country. Lanka wanted to always be uh, ruling. For that, they used to do prayers for their king. So this is what is it means that irreligious varnashrama system. Even now, we see so many politicians are coming to uh, positions, but are they practicing religious principles? Maybe they may do it only at their home. What about country level? What about international level? You know? So we are already seeing Asura Varnashram system here very clearly. At least in India, we have, or even in a broader scale, in a country level, international level, also we can see there is a mercantile community. Though we will not calling them as Vaishyas, but isn't there a mercantile community? Uh, and then there is also defense all over NAT. Uh, what is it, Omkareshwar? What is this? Is it NATO or not? There is one who will supply protect army, right, to different countries when there is some insecurity.
NATO, Prabhuji.
NATO only?
Yes,
No,
yes.
yeah, okay.
That's the American UK thing. Yeah. That's where Russia also they were trying to take over. I think.
Mhm.
Uh, ex-
Yeah, some organization which has a central army from different countries to stabilize insecurities in different countries. Yeah, I don't know. You can you can search in this chapter for Ravan, Ajarasa Prabhu, and I don't remember mentioning anything that he's not religious, but I think it was mentioning about the qualities how one can get uh, unsuccessful. Yeah, well, I can quickly do that as well. By such action, but actually, by such action, Ravana became ruined. And what was the mm, I was saying, no, what is the verse was 36? Yeah, 36. We accept as blessings different stages of higher life, distinguished them from lower states of life. But we should know that such distinctions exist only in relation with interchange of modes of material nature. Actually, these states of life have no permanent existence, for all of them will be destroyed by the Supreme Controller. Yeah, that is the only, uh, yeah, which is having the context of Ravana in this chapter.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji, for nice narration.
Mhm.
Prabhuji, I did not understand this text 27, this line that at that time the difference between the soul and the super soul which was existing before self-realization is annihilated.
Mm. Yeah. Here the soul, when we are referring, he's referring to subtle body. So this panchapakam, uh, what we were referring is, let me go to that. 27, you said, no?
Mhm.
27. Yeah. So here we are talking about the gum. All material desires are burnt. What is happening is when a person becomes devoid of all material desires and liberated from all material qualities, he, when I'm saying he, is the is the soul, he transcends the distinctions between action executed externally and internally. At that time, the difference between the soul and the super soul is annihilated. Now become ekatmakam. He becomes, yeah, just when you have a body, then you are differentiating, right? Qualitatively, when you are same. This is the understanding you will have when you will no more identify with the body. That's what it means there. Hmm?
Mhm.
At that time,
But
the
Prabhuji,
difference
here,
between soul and the
but,
super soul is
mhm,
annihilated. Because qualitatively we are same. That is the realization we will have.
but still there is difference,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Difference is existentially different, but qualitatively same.
Mhm.
Hmm? Which and in that which was existing before self-realization. What is that existing before was differentiation. Oh, we see that Lord is different, we are different. No, we are same, but not we are one. That is the difference. We are same but not one. One means that, oh, I am God. This is what eventually that it will make us feel. Hey, God, if I am losing all these things, I will become God. This is the Mayavad philosophy, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Once when I understand there is this duality and when I'm becoming out devoid of duality, then I will become God. Huh? Then there are so many. Yeah, if you go to South India, there are so many preachers, practitioners, and schools of thoughts which will tell, hey, after right now you are thinking you are not God because you are identifying with body. When you lose this identification with the body, then you know that you are yourself God. Our understanding is that we are godly but not God.
Yes, sir. So this can be misinterpreted by
Yeah.
some.
That's the reason in purport Prabhupada is mentioning about what does it mean. Yeah? Two kinds of activism. One acts on the behalf of body and the same time he acts to become living. So that's how the consciousness, yeah, mukti, as stated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, mukti means swarupena uh, vyavastiti, being situated in one's own constitutional position. There is the challenge to understand what is our constitutional position. Hmm. And even the purport also very nice. If we read, then there is also mentioning about liberation, merging, and all those things. Uh, as if like, and then with the analogy of dream, what happens when a person is in dream, when after comes from what is happening. Whatever he was thinking in the dream is not different from who is he, right? When a dream is over, there is no longer a distinction between the dream and the dreamer. Hmm? Yeah, you're
Mhm.
getting that example. Or
Yes, sir. Prabhuji, this dream and the dreamer, I still did not understand correctly.
okay. So then we'll see in the purport. The purport. Therefore, he says, this means, 1 second. This is the stage of oneness and merging with the Supreme. Activities and yeah. When a person comes out of a dream, the dream vanishes. While dreaming, a person may consider himself a king and sees the royal paraphernalia, his soldiers, etc. But when the dream is over, he does not see anything beyond himself. That's what it means. Both are same. Where is that? There is nothing, right?
Mhm.
Similarly, a liberated person understands that he is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, acting in accordance with the desire of the Lord, and as such, there is no distinction between himself and the Supreme, although both of them retain their individuality. Nityo Nityanam Chetas Chetananam Bahuda Vidadadi Kaman. Yeah. So, this is the perfect conception of oneness in the relation to the super soul and the soul.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's not a different
Prabhuji,
existence, right? The dream is not existing in some other, someone else. It is within your own, right?
so Prabhuji, it means that our limited knowledge we perceive are not the reality, and yeah, we are
Yep.
in yeah we are dreaming something, but that is.
No, it's not about dreaming something. It's about like the dreaming, whatever is happening is not different. It's not like something else. It is still you only, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that oneness is what is mentioned, what we understand from here.
Mhm.
In the dream, we may see ourselves different, right? You're sleeping, then you can kind of think, hey, that is me, and all. After coming, where is the dream? It is not two things. It is only one thing.
Mhm.
You and your dream is still one, right?
Mhm. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Very good.
Prabhu, I was going through verse number 35. So here,
Mhm.
Sruti Goswami was saying about the liberation has to be taken very seriously. So, what should be our aspiration in our this human life? Can liberation be taken more importantly than the aspiration of eternal service to the Lord in staying in this
No,
material?
actually, we should understand what is liberation actually. So, liberation here is referring still to what? Uh, what is real liberation, or what is possibly real liberation is to engage eternally in devotional service, even in this body. That itself is liberation. Liberation means to get free from material desires, getting free from material attachment. That itself is liberation. Yeah. So it is not like, okay, is liberation important or bhakti important, or in both, what is high? Uh, True liberation itself is a state where we are freeing up ourselves to be qualified to engage in devotional service. So through, it's not, uh, everything should be adjusted in such a way that we attain liberation. Therefore, in this verse, liberation is stressed. The other three are material, and therefore, yeah, all those things are there. But this qualifies us to get more attached to Krishna. Uh, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha. Yuktam Vairaga Muchyati. This is very, very important. Uh, it's not that moksha means a state or a final destination or final goal, or it's the thing ultimatum. No, moksha is a requisite through which we can actually get more attached to bhakti. As long as we are having attachments, our attachments are disturbing to practice bhakti properly. We are not able to serve Krishna properly because always, if I am doing service, I am seeing what can I get from this service, isn't it? If I'm attached for name and fame, I am going to speak big, big words, many things, and so that in the disguise of bhakti, what I'm doing is actually uh, bhoga, right? Bhoga,
Yes.
Aishwarya, Prasanam, bhoga and Aishwarya. This is what always I'm thinking: how to increase my followers, how to increase my uh, what is that? Germany, Janmanishwari. What is that? Starting. Omkareshwar Baba, Shastakam. Uh, uh, न जलम न धनम न सुंदरिम कविताम व जगदीश कामये. Huh? न जनम न dhanam न sundarim. But I'm always saying I want jana, followers, I want dhana, I want money. And Sundari, oh, I always never never say no to enjoyment. No. When we are having that, can we practice bhakti?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. And moksha here in the sense is about that. Na janam na dhanam na sundarim. Kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. Mama janmani janmani sware bhavatat bhaktir ahaituki. I want to practice only that bhakti which is ahaituki, which is very, very pure. It is not contaminated by with anything like this. That is what is moksha. So moksha is a um, mm, not the end goal. First thing, that's what we need to remember. But it's not like, okay, can we avoid it? No, we also need it. Huh? This is only four purusharthas, right? What is Panchama Purushartha? Is bhakti. Above it. Okay,
Okay.
Bharat Prabhu?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, also have the kind of a same question on this liberation. As you said that liberation means detachment from the material world. How about the relationships with the humans? Like if something is not allowing us to make our prayers, may it could be a thing or a human being, what we should do, like how we liberate ourselves from those kind of things.
Can you once again rephrase the question so that it's clear for me again?
Like you said that the liberation is the detachment from the material world, right? We are detaching from those all the material desires. And so what about the human beings instead of the material world? If I'm not I'm just want to give you example, if I'm not able to make my prayers because of certain relationships, do I have to liberate myself from that, or what
Okay.
happens with the relationships?
So when we are saying material world, we are including everything which is material. And when you are talking about human beings are not material, right? Yeah,
Yes.
just like we are not material, but we are also covered in material body. And what happens is because we are covered in material body, then we think that we are also material. Just like if you have a very nice wrapped box, a gift box. Inside that box, there is only some paper, right, which is of no use. What is the worth of this box? Whether it is covered with golden wrap or silver wrap or iron, or what is it? Yeah, other kind of wraps, no use, right?
Yes.
So, but just imagine in the box, actually, there is very, very precious thing, yeah. And then it's very important that we use that. That is the purpose of this. Yeah? If someone is giving us the gift box, are we keeping the box or are we keeping the thing inside it?
Thing inside.
So here we understand that the relationships are very, very important. And now the question is coming, but okay, but are relations not disturbing us? Huh? Because uh, if we see relations in the material world and all those things are material, what should we do? Should we give up all these things? Should we? That is your question, right? Should we give up
Yes.
that and get freedom, liberated? But we should understand that why should we give up when we can benefit from that?
True.
If we have relationships in our life through which we can benefit to become more Krishna conscious, shouldn't we do that?
Yes.
And everyone, if we see that everything is arrangement of the Lord, and when we see that everything is Krishna's, just like this box which has this jewel which is very, very valuable, what will we do? We just offer it to Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, we are not just throwing it because hey, it is matter. Come on, diamond is diamond, but still it is made of five elements, material. No, no, no. It will be disturbing to us when we take it and we want to have that as our ring.
Yes.
Yeah. So in essence, it's very important to have very clear clarity that we are not Tyagis. Yeah, as I was mentioning, I don't know, in the beginning I was mentioning about Jnana and Vairagya. Yeah, when we develop this Vairagya, yeah, we are detaching, but for what? If we don't have the right Jnana, if we don't have the right knowledge, yeah, Jnana and Vijnana, these are very important. That these objects, just right now we are using what? We are using technology to have this Bhagavad Sapta or Bhagavatam or even today's class, right? Yeah, a Vairagi may say, "Hey, I have nothing to do with this, and then I want to better go to Himalayas, and then there is no need of, then there is no disturbance of technology. There is no, no. What we want to do is we want to use all this to actually come to a level of knowledge to know why we are doing all this austerities, to give up all those things, right? And then Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha. So when we understand that everything is related to Krishna for a purpose, can be used for Krishna, then we see every opportunity. Oh, I have a garden. I can use it for bringing flowers, fruits for the deities. Or I'm a good artist. What should I do now? Huh? I can draw nice paintings of Krishna. Hmm? So we have to understand that this Vishaya, this material thing, it's not that it's Maya. We should see that this is Krishna's creation and it has its own purpose, how we can use it. And when we use them, with that usage, what is happening is that we are achieving our goal, right?
Yes.
So that's what it means to be in a liberated stage means to be free from all these designations, upadhi, uh, sarvopadi vinirmukta, all upadhis, the thinking that I am that, I am this, he is that, she is that, everything, all these upadhis now, all false identity. If I think that I am a engineer, that is false identity. If I am thinking I am a doctor, that is false identity. If is so all these false identities about others, we should give them up. Vinirmukta, mukti, vinirmukta. We have to get rid of all this false identity, but we should not give up the real identity. Our real identity is always to be what? Last Sunday, who were there? What is the real identity?
Being a devotee to Krishna.
Das. Yeah, Krishna Das. That is our real identity.
Yes.
Yeah, and which means not only I am Krishna Das, you are Krishna Das, and your neighbor is Krishna Das. In other, everyone is Krishna Das.
Yes. Now it
And
is. Yes.
then we understand that there is a very nice orchestrated relationships, yeah, which we didn't know, but all of a sudden we start understanding everyone are related to Krishna. And when we know everyone are related to Krishna, then we know how to deal with them. Like everyone is child of Krishna, then we know okay, we have to take care of Krishna and his children, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what it means to be, yeah, looking at moksha, the purpose of moksha.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Very well understood. And my second question is that I saw the flyer for the Saptah that was posted yesterday. Is it like every day is a different katha, or because you gave different days, right? So it's the same every day, or?
The whole katha will last for 7 days. The same, the pastime, same lila, yeah, will
Yes.
be continued because we won't be able to finish in one day. So the same whole pastime will be covered across 7 days at 7 places.
So is it okay to attend whichever is near to me at least one day?
Yeah, you can just fill up which as per your convenience, which you can attend. Yeah, and I don't know. We will try to have also live streaming so that those will be streamed. The whole program will be streamed so that if someone is far away or at the moment, for example, Deennath Prabhu, he is in India, but still he would like to join, so he can. So in that way, I don't know if you, we can manage, we will also stream it. Otherwise, the recording will be shared later.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
And of course, live, in case if you are able to make it, yeah, it's nice, because the purpose of having the Bhagavad Saptah, that too during the end of the year, is usually it's a holiday time, and we also want to relax, right? The purpose is that uh, every day with school or with that or office or whatever, we are very, very busy, and want a break. And a break, we may think, oh, it's too austere to go travel. After all, this is a time to relax. But believe it that when we come together, the relaxation or relishment, uh, nourishment that happens when we are in a live Bhagavad Saptah is of different. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
someone can share who joined last year. Last year we did it as well.
Yes, actually, I have my 6-month-old, so sometimes it's hard for me to leave my home because of, so that's why I asked,
Understandable.
is it okay to attend one day or like,
Yeah,
and
you
then,
can. Yeah, as per your convenience, you can.
yes,
Can you kindly fill out the form
yes,
that gives us, yeah, which place you are able to go, so that yeah, you can also contact them. They can provide facility, because you have a baby. Then also, yeah, whatever facilities are required, I think we could also assist with that. So yeah, stay in touch.
but if I attend only one day, it will not mean that, right? I just left incomplete. That's what was my worry, whether it's okay
I
to
think
attend.
I think there is no harm or nothing like incomplete, because every session will still definitely have a holistic capsule of message. It's not like, okay, uh, am I reading half book, and then what about the remaining half? Within the half book, we get so many things which can be applied in our life. Yeah. So similarly, every session, just like today, we explored something which is like, for example, liberation, understanding, right? Of course,
Yes,
we didn't cover the whole Prthu Maharaj pastime. I think it's already been 4 months or 5 months till we are discussing. But still, there is definitely something we can take and apply for ourselves. Yeah.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Anything, any announcement, Rupa or Ajrasa Prabhu, we should make?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Karishwar Prabhu.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the wonderful class and teachings of Kumaras. Yes. Prabhuji, one question. When the
Your voice is chapping. I can't hear. I don't know if you can.
instructing to Prthu Maharaj, is it as Sanat Maharaj instructing, or all Kumaras are one
The
by
head of
one
Sanat
telling?
Kumar,
All the Kumaras
Sanat
are
Kumar is
talking to Prthu.
speaking. Sanat Kumar is
Okay, but
speaking on behalf of three. Yeah, I mean, at least there is only one Kumara's name that came who is speaking. That's what my
yes,
faith is.
yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, they all travel together, all four, or sometimes they also travel individual. I don't know about this.
Oh, I too don't know. Usually, yeah, when we are saying four Kumaras, I see that maybe everyone is traveling together. I don't know. Your voice is no more audible.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have no, actually, yeah, I have no good internet, actually. I'm sorry for that. Yes.
No, no. I don't know. But at least they here we know that four came and Sanat Kumar spoke. This is clear from this chapter.
Yes. Yes. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And Prabhuji, I want to, thank you for this class going on, because I was reading Bhagavad Gita, and there Prabhupada is saying that if we want to get out of this Tamogun and Rajogun, then we must study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam every day. And that's why Srila Prabhupada has started this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in the morning program in all the temples every day. And because we are living far away from the temple, we are not able to attend in the temple programs. But you made us available this facility at our home. So we are very grateful to you because it's very important. Like when we talk about leaving the attachments from material world or coming out of the Tamoguna and Rajoguna, we must read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to overcome these problems. And because of this course, at least we will get a lot of benefit, of course. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for everyone who are also interested to join to hear. I remember still, I can mention anytime, a number of times. It was Ramesh Prabhu long back. He was saying, "Hey, why don't we have this?" And then all of you also showed interest, and then yeah, I'm very happy that we are continuing. It's third year or fourth year that we are reading.
I think we started in 2019, na Prabhuji? 2019?
I think so. That was a time when
Yes.
Ambika Mataji was going to Art of Living, or at least
Yes.
she was exploring Art of Living. I don't know when was that.
2019.
19, yeah, because I
Yes.
remember. Yeah, after that I was in India, in Chennai. Yeah, even before. But anyway, so yeah, very nice. Very much to read more. The pace where we are doing, I think, I don't know.
And Prabhuji, we can see that in 4 years we have 4 cantos.
Yeah, I think in 6 months we will finish this fourth canto definitely. Let's see the next fifth canto in 5th year.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripasindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.